evaluate Jill because I think it's one of the trickiest types of evaluation when you've got somebody who's actually got a lot of very good natural skills, but they're still at a very early stage in the Toastmaster competent speech program. So they haven't yet done all the practice and got all the knowledge together, but it's terribly easy when they're very good to start evaluating them as if they're actually already further down the path. And it's very important, I think, always to remember that even when somebody is looking quite confident from the outside, that when they are in the early stages, that there's still quite a lot going on inside. And I suspect that might be the case with Jill, because you have terrific speech development and great ideas, and the purpose of this speech was to organise your material, and you used some terrific tools to help you do that. I loved your contrast between the early Arctic explorers and your slightly chaotic approach to Kilimanjaro, and it was a very apt set of contrasts that kept weaving its way through, and at the same time you have the journey itself as a structure to follow, and on top of that you imposed a further structure, which was bringing in Kipling's 5 friends: who, what, where, when, and why. And then, so apologies, why I don't think came into it so much. Oh, it did, but it was mainly you got the details out of the way with Kipling's help. And that, employing 3 different structures and weaving them through, was actually pretty sophisticated. And it was a fascinating and fact-filled and entertaining story that you developed. I may not be the only one in the room that has a yen to go up the mountain on a good day. Or 5, yeah. That was good. I thought that in terms of your physical appearance, you have a tendency to stand slightly to the side and talk through this way. And you have also a habit of throwing away some of your best lines. And I've seen a lot of people do this in climbing circles in particular, where some horrendous things happen. It's tossed off. It's quite interesting. On you go. I think you've encountered this laconic style in the face of danger a few times, but it doesn't. I missed one of the jokes that Matt laughed at, but I didn't catch it over there. And so what was that? So I would say try and speak out a little bit more. Try and stand more foursquare to the room. Get your lungs filled with air and power that voice, and you'll be a terrific speaker. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much. The second speech was by Kirsty McGregor, and to evaluate that I'd like to ask Simon McLaren.
What a great speech. I really enjoyed that. A lot of research. I think it's something which you've done before. It's a subject you know, and I'm really pleased to hear it. I wish I'd known this a year ago or 2 years ago. Different styles of leadership. Command, as an officer in the parachute regiment, I'm quite used to doing many years ago. That doesn't work. Wish I'd known that too. So I learned a lot, which is great from a speech, so thank you very much. I love the way you use your hands. You seem to be natural at doing that. I can't remember exactly what you did, but it's a great use of hands the whole way through. You stood in front of the podium, great. You went at a nice, slow, deliberate pace. Very good. I could hear everything you said. One of the nice things you did, you started describing Churchill as of visionary leadership. I like to give you the image. I thought, that's a nice tie-in. I wonder if she's going to do that the whole way through. Unfortunately, it didn't, but it was a really nice one to use. Of course, you need to watch timing. A bit more rehearsal would have been great in that, and you would have got through those timings. But you pulled it all together. You seem to be enjoying yourself. You included all the audience. You looked around. You got everyone engaged. It was a fascinating subject, which I wish I'd known more about before. And clearly something you've done before. You've done this research. So well done for doing that. Very enjoyable speech. So much good stuff, which I'll write in your notes. And I look forward to hearing your next speech, possibly on the same subject as well. Thank you very much.